Today's video is going to be relatively controversial to some, and I don't mean to offend groups of people by telling them that what they believe is not truth. Research generally takes up about 70% of my time. Types of history, looking at different eras and how trade and migrations, haplogroup migrations, came to be the world that we know today. Now, initially I had found a pagan cult or religion, as it seems to have spanned into a number of areas in different parts of the world. So I had stumbled on one cult because of researching another, and I'll make a video of that other cult, but it's much less cut and dry, and the parallels are much more ambiguous and deal more on a cultural, more diverse level. So because multiple hominid phenotypes are involved, it requires a much more in-depth research. We'll start the accounts by discussing the background of the people, which is crucial for understanding how events transpired in history. There's a strange anomaly in which it is a place that seems to have multiple name changes or references to other places, such as Tartar. There has been more than one form of Tartaria through history, and definitely an interesting topic to go over in the near future. The time frame I'm referencing is a time when the land was called Dacia, and the people were Dacians, or Dacai, the Getae, or the geto-dacai. They have multiple names, but they're only from one region. It is the area of where Serbia, Hungary, and Romania meet, and it covers most of Romania. I'll get into what leads me to believe that there is one of the largest subterranean networks in the world underneath Romania and the other areas I mentioned. But I will continue on some background information first. These people used to refer to themselves as wolves, and brings about the imagination, especially given that the area was called Tartaria for a period of time, known as Transylvania. They are Thracian people. They came across the steppes and were Scythian for a period of time prior to becoming Dacian, mixing with Proto-Thracian or being Proto-Thracian, and then mixing with surrounding peoples, such as the Vinca culture, which has been there for roughly 5,000 years at least. I'm sure I'll expand several times on this topic, as it's rather interesting. The various connections that one can make just in Romania alone. How there was a Dacia in Scandinavia as well, and the Dacians had come in contact with Celts, and not just Celts, but lived beside Scythians peacefully, as they had the same origin. I'll leave that part ambiguous so you can enjoy the exploration and the search as well. I'm sure by now you've absorbed some of this information containing on the maps and what I've showed you to understand a little bit more about migration. And now I'll move on to the main topic, which is the religion of the Dacians, which was the precursor for the story of Jesus Christ. The more one digs on this subject, the more one can't help but notice the parallels in between two characters. Jesus with his fearless Jesuits, or Knights Templar I should say, and the Dacians, who had an idea of reincarnation that was much like immortality, and that it was much like switching into the next room for them, almost like a respawn in a video game or something. This made them feared by the Greeks and the Romans. Reincarnation was already a concept on the planet, in India in particular, but no other people are known to use it to dominate others in battle, and certainly not to such historical accounts. Julius Caesar was quoted saying, "The Getae defeated more warriors than any of the people that had ever lived." And this is not only because of strength of body, but also because their glorified Zalmoxis convinced them to be so. Believing that they do not die, but that they only change their home. And that they are more inclined to fight than they are inclined to take a journey. I find that pretty interesting, considering those two peoples warred together. I find it also interesting that the Dacians, this specific hominid phenotype, still exists in Hungary, Serbia, and Romania today. perhaps the most interesting thing is the story of Zalmoxis and his reincarnation. Apparently he hid in a cave for 3 years and fooled everybody into thinking that he had died, and a ritual in Zalmoxianism was to send a messenger to Zalmoxis to the underworld, or a subterranean cave, I assume. So sending someone to their death, quote unquote, was part of the ritual. The actual ritual was that they would grab your arms and legs and throw you at a bunch of spears and see if you would be impaled, and if you were not impaled, then you were shunned or killed because of lack of faith. And if you did indeed land on the spears and die, then you would join Zalmoxis in the underworld. Now, knowing that myths and religious stories are more of a metaphor or allegory, a representation of something, and to me, knowing that he had hid in a cave and perhaps underground makes me theorize that perhaps the extensive tunnels that are known to be under Hungary, Serbia, and Romania are perhaps subterranean people that worshipped Zalmoxis. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll share with you more parallels between Jesus and Zalmoxis some other time. I didn't get to cover everything, but I hope I left you with enough to have your own thirst for understanding history and what got us here. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.